Good evening. Good evening. How are we? Ladies and gentlemen, judges. Looking at you four, I'm glad they've got rid of the judge's house lounge. I'm a bit conscious about the shadow that I keep, all the acts have been showing on this thing as well. I was going to bring on an apple, I'm glad I didn't. So this is the second charity gig I've done this week. The first one was at a swingers bar. It's got to be said, it's a bit of a coincidence in your table again, twice a month. How are you all? Ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing some research this evening because I needed some new material, obviously because this is a charity and everything. So I know we've got the Welsh here. So I googled a Welsh comedian, Geraint Penguin. Sorry? So I ordered his book of jokes and it came this morning, but I think I might have spelled it wrong because it's arrived, but well, apparently he is a good lad. It's my new material. 2 seconds. Bear with me. What on? No? 2 seconds. Okay. Here we go. Hang on, 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Sorry about this. Hang on. What's the difference between light and hard? You can sleep with the light on. Take it on. I'll be here all night. 10 minutes, I said. I've got a multi-pack here. Penguin walks into a bar, says to the barman, "Have you seen my brother?" Barman said, "What's he look like?" Poundland, Lisa. Poundland. Man phones his friend. He says, "Can a penguin get to 6'5"? He said, "No." He said, "You better come and meet me, I think I'm knocked over a nun." Now, ladies and gentlemen, especially you ladies, come on. You're looking at the stage thinking, porn stock really has got talent. Chris, you said yes to that as well, which is quite concerning. But I am married, unfortunately, for you guys, married. I met my beautiful wife about 5 years ago. You get flirty here. I met my wife about 5 years ago, beautiful girl, lovely fella. I met her in a bar full of blokes. She walked in, she didn't get her place. I went up to her and I said, "Excuse me, love, my magic watch is telling me you're not wearing any underwear." She said, "I think you'll find your magic watch is wrong." I said, "I think you'll find it's an hour fast." I said to her, "Your body reminds me of a spanner. Every time you walk towards me, my nuts tighten." I tried showing off, so we walked to the bar and I ordered 10 pints of beer and 2 Budweisers. I said, "But with what I've got, I really should be having this." He got the drinks and came back. I said, "Have another 2 Budweisers, a vodka and lemonade, WKD Blue. But with what I've got, I really should be ordering this." He came back. And he said, "I don't mean to be rude, but what have you got?" I said, £1.28. So anyway, I remember the night in that pub because that was the night I fell in love with Sarah. She came in, she sneezed, her false teeth fell to the floor. Her glass eye flew across the room, which I grabbed for her, get it back. And the teeth were damaged, but they were that big, we managed to finish the crazy bathing in our house. Now, if you ask Sarah how she met me, she said the moment I fell in love with Gary was in a bar for the men, and he was the only man there that caught my eye. Now, I'll be honest, I am lucky to be with her because she is an identical twin, and people often say to me, Gary, how'd you tell her apart? I says, quite easy, her brother's clean shaven. We moved in together. She bought me a moving in present, she bought me a toilet brush. I know. No, I didn't want to say anything, but after about 2 weeks, I said, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but or ungrateful is the word I was looking for. Cut that. I said, I'm ungrateful, but I think I might go back to using toilet paper. Hang on, love, 2 minutes. Sorry, hang on a minute. Oh dear, I'm quite like me tonsils. Took a tonsil away. Look at this. Bloody hell. So we've had a baby, we had little Max, lovely fella, lovely little boy he is, love him dearly. So she said to me, why don't you make yourself useful, go down and sort of family credit out. Is that alright? Yeah. So I went down the family credit, I was with this woman, and she said, yes, Mr. Rapson, you can have family credit, whatever. I said, brilliant. She said, but before we start the forms, we need to see some identification. I said, well, do you know what, I haven't got any. I'll have to go home, get my wallet, and I'll be back. So she said, I'll tell you what, she said, if you show me a bit of your chest, she said, I'll sign the paperwork here and there and that'll be it. I said, are you sure? She said, yeah. So me being me, showed her a bit of chest and threw in a nipple. She said, nice nipple. I said, you see the other 3. but when I went up to Sarah and told Sarah that, she didn't take it like you did. She said, why didn't you get your willy out while you were there? I said, Sarah, come on. She said, no, honestly, if you did that, you might have been able to claim disability at the same time. Oh, what are you laughing at? Oh, what are you laughing at? No, on the way here it was really good because I was privileged enough to get a lift with our retail director, Mark Williams, and yeah, lovely woman. Now he loves his Range Rover. He really does. He shows off about his Range Rover. I was in there, I was sat in there. He showed me he could watch BBC News and all of that lot. So we parked up at the petrol station. He filled the car up with petrol. He said, "We'll take you for a drive because I want you to have an experience in this Range Rover." I said, "Okay, well, I can't look forward to that." What things to do. Yeah. So anyway, we were driving along, 70 miles an hour, and before we knew it, this moped just went right past us. So I'm laughing, thinking, yeah, you might have a Range Rover, but that moped's faster than your Range Rover. So he put his foot down, showing off. He was going about 100 miles an hour. He took over this moped. You know, left him for dead, I'll be honest. But about 5 minutes later, the moped took over us again. I said, Mark, I'm not being funny. You might have a nice Range Rover, but that's some bloody moped he's got in. So Mark, you know, Mark being Mark, he didn't want to lose out, so he put his foot down. He was going 130 miles an hour, went past the moped. About 10 minutes later, the moped went right past us again. So lucky enough, we got some traffic, slowed down, because obviously I was scared, obviously being a Range Rover at 130 miles an hour. And so we, hello? So all I can see is dark, that's all I can see is dark, that's all. So we pulled off in the traffic, and we pulled off in the traffic, and this moped was beside us, and Mark, you know, he put his window down. Nice Range Rover, but he still had to put it down anyway. So he says, you all right, Jack? So he says to this guy on the moped, he said, I'll tell you what, that's the moped you got. He said, I was going 130 miles an hour. He took over me out of speed. He said, bloody hell, it's amazing. The guy on the moped said, no, it's a normal moped. He said, it's just like I've got your bridges caught in your bloody door when you're at the car. Ladies and gentlemen, keep in touch with yourselves. Good night. Thank you.